All right. So I want to go ahead and give me a mic check really quick, just so I can make sure that the stream is working right. Mic check, mic check.
Sounds good.
Cool, thanks. Okay, we'll probably wait a few minutes for people to get on and right on time for the first time ever. Been working on newsletter shit and trying to get some automation flow in, and I'm not good at it, so it takes me a while. But in a few minutes, we can go over some of the positions that we're currently in, some of the stuff that we've been looking at. We can run our 50-day high scan. We did have a nice bounce today in a lot of the growth areas of the market. So a lot of the positions that have been beat to shit over the last few trading sessions, all of a sudden right back up. XLE leading right now, though, up 3.23%. XLK, XLY both green on the day. Real estate down 1.6, healthcare down 1.25, communications down 0.64. Once again, dropping down out of that bear flag sort of fractal that we've been charting since the beginning of June. But we'll go through some of the stuff that the group's in. We'll go through some of the stuff that we were looking at potentially entering end of day in a few minutes as people hop on. If you have any questions in the meantime, feel free. Ask them and I'll answer them. We will see. TikTok. You have any questions in the meantime, feel free. Waiting for guys in Discord to hop on. We have a power hour session at the end of every session where we talk through current positions and positions that we're thinking about entering. It's currently 3 p.m. Eastern, so it's going to take them probably 5 minutes to get on. So I have a few extra minutes here. If anybody has any trading related questions, feel free. I'll try to do my best here to explain it if I know the answer. Currently looking at different industries right now. Industries are subsections of sectors. Currently, we are very interested in energy, XLE. We've been interested in energy for about 10 days now, and we did take some positions last week, at the end of last week, within the energy sector, specifically targeting XOP and OIH. It's your XOP industry right here today. Here's your OIH industry. Number one name on our watch list that we entered last week was EQNR. Posted about it on TikTok last week, also all over my Twitter and newsletter. EQNR, Norwegian energy related name. We were looking to buy 38.5 area, and on Friday we got that 38.5 area retest. And so we went ahead and entered into some contracts, or Thursday rather. Friday we got the gap up, and then obviously today we pushed up huge, currently up 2.19% off of yesterday's close to the peak that we were up 3.75. So nice move today off EQNR. Like I said, this is an international energy related name, so the trading volume is a little bit thinner. We can actually look at the chain here really quick. You look at the strikes. Strikes are a little different than probably what you're used to seeing here. But one thing that really piqued our interest here was this 39.68 call area with 6.25 open interest. That's 6,250 contracts of open interest on EQNR. When this was trading around $36, these were obviously out of the money by a little bit. This was sitting here at around 3,000. So someone has been scooping these up as we've gotten closer and closer. Now, obviously, those contracts are in the money. A few guys in the group grabbed these. These were a little bit more expensive than the 44.68 contracts. So some guys in the group that have larger accounts went ahead and bought those 39.68. Some of the guys that have a little bit smaller of accounts bought those 44.68. These were originally going for 65 cents. They're now going for $1.25. So damn near a 100% trade on EQNR. Just a few trading sessions on those 44.68s. And the 39.68s, I don't remember off the top of my head what the original price was for those. Go ahead and check it out. 207. And now they're currently trading for 330. So not quite a 100% pop on the now in the money play, but still a very, very healthy move into, by the way, a multi. If we zoom all the way out and go like on the weekly here, last time EQNR was at this level was actually all the way over here during the 2008 prior to the GFC crash. We know what happened if you were alive back then when it came to energy and oil related stocks. So we're right now testing all-time
Before you say
highs
anything, I have
on
excellent
Norwegian
oral hygiene.
related energy name. This is something that we would love, right? We love this name.
What's up?
And like I said, we're currently long right now with plenty of time on our contracts. I think the majority of the guys
How are you guys'
are
trades
right
right
now
now?
on October. So
You get stopped out?
lots of time to let these things go. Okay, Dustin, are you here right now? Because Landon DM'd me a question, and I want you to be here while I answer it because it pertains to you, kind of. So if you guys are both here right now, I'm gonna go ahead and stream this on TikTok. We're gonna do a little bit of a Q&A session here before we scan for the 50-day high stuff. Looks like Dustin's typing. So Landon, I'm just gonna go ahead and read the question so the people that are listening to the stream later can hear it. Landon is
Oh,
essentially asking, a lot of the plays that he's been looking at over the last 3 to 4 weeks, he either took or he didn't take, and they're now up huge. He either got stopped out too early, or the plays that he did not take ended up being huge. And he wants to know if that's because of his stop loss management. Is it too tight? Is it due to recency bias or some sort of bias? He wants to know, for example, how you were able to grab GIS and stay in that trade because that was a name that he wanted to take and he failed to take it. So if you want to go ahead and type out that response, I can read it on stream for other people to hear it as well. But Landon wanted that question, and I have my own. My idea is that Landon tends to go rogue a little bit in some of his assessments, which is totally fine. But he doesn't play the same levels that we do, right, Landon? You don't a lot of the time, and so I think
I
that
tried.
you're throwing fibs at different levels than what we are, and it's just like we'll be looking at one area of the market, and you're looking at something completely different, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But
I think my problem is that I put fibs on last usually,
do you have trading training
if
platform?
at all. So
I'm not sure what that means, man. This
I
is
don't know, it's
Trading View. This
powerful,
is the
but
charting software that
I
mostly
like
everybody
finding the
uses
levels
nowadays
myself.
because it's probably the most robust piece of software you can get. It's free. You don't have to pay for it if you don't want to. What I use it for, you can get away with the free version. I pay for it so I can get more than one chart on the same window when I'm doing relative strength comparisons and stuff like this. But this has a built-in paper trading. If that's what you're asking
Like,
for,
excuse me, yeah, I
but
was
I don't
saying,
suggest paper trading. So
it it kind of seems like sometimes I'll be like, I'll take a trade and it will go right, or it'll just like I'll lose interest or lose money or both. You know what I mean? Just because it's not doing anything. But it seems like on the chart, like I feel like there's something there, and I have a feeling about it, and there's a potential setup maybe that I was thinking about front running or something. I mean, maybe that's my problem. I guess I maybe just
the
set up
other
like
trade that
shit.
we're currently
Maybe I'm
in
just
is
front running
ON. This
stuff
is one of the few semiconductor names
and
that are up near
then
all-time highs.
like
If you look at some of the other
closing it.
semiconductor
Like
names
if
like
it doesn't go
AMD
my
and
way,
Nvidia, they've been beat to shit this
but
year.
not like watching it
ON
long
has
enough
not. We're
after
up
that.
near all-time highs here. So as
So like
SMH
missing the
starts to
pullback.
show some relative strength, which it hasn't
It's not on
actually,
everything. I don't know.
you see SMH never even cleared the May to June fractal, which is
I don't
not
know if
great.
it's
This level we
also
would
like a
like to
hindsight bias,
see
Like I see somebody
semiconductors
else take a
break
trade that I
above this
took
level, and it
last
just
month, and
hasn't
I'm
been
like,
able to do
oh
that. So this
man,
is something
see,
that we
you
are
know what I mean?
focused on, but ON, for
Really, it's
whatever
like we're
reason,
looking
is
at
not following
completely different
semiconductors.
setups and
And so if
everything.
you wanted exposure into semiconducors, it makes
All right,
no sense to
Landon,
want
I
to
could talk now.
get long
Um,
ON, right?
so
So this is why we're
specifically
still currently
those,
holding
I
ON.
didn't get into GIS. I wanted to, but I was already in Pepsi. Um, but for me, I
I'm trying
only
to take my headphones out so you guys can hear this. I don't know if you guys can
I
hear
have
it.
the most success taking a horizontal breakout,
Actually, I'm not going to
and that
because
is the
YouTube
only thing I will trade.
Okay.
And
YouTube's going to
you
have to
looked
hit a
at
double reverb, and I'm
GIS
not going to
and
do that.
PEP
So if anybody has any
going
questions
into an
on
all-time
TikTok, feel
high
free. The guys in the
horizontal
Discord right now are
breakout.
talking through positions, and we're talking
And
to each other,
just
so I'm just
watching
following
that,
right now.
I want to say with PEP, I
We're going to scan in
front
about
ran
30
that.
minutes. Scan
GIS,
through
I
some
didn't take it,
50-day
of
high
course,
stuff.
but
We'll look for potential
um,
setups going into tomorrow or
that
potentially
is
something
giving
in
me
the
the
day here.
most success, and I'm
So I'll show you
trying
guys how
to
we
stay away
scan through
from
the day.
all other noise
And we run a
when
daily
Yeah.
taking a
strategy
trade
sessions
right
a
now.
week,
And
right?
I'm
So Sundays,
trying my
Mondays,
hardest to.
Wednesdays.
At
This
PEP,
week
I
we're running
took it
Sunday,
too
Tuesday,
early.
Thursday because it's
Um,
the
Well, those are
scheduled
like
I
conflict
similar. Those are like the
where we
same
go through
sector though. So are you just
yep,
essentially the
yep,
entire
and
TTI
and
process. We look at
only
market
sticking
analysis.
to
We
sticking
the
to
look at
like
where we
sectors.
actually
safer?
want to get long,
Hmm?
Yes,
what
I'm
part of the
sticking
market
to
is
the
showing relative
sectors that
strength,
are performing the
and
best.
what part of the
Okay, and
market
then
is
are
showing
you
relative
spreading?
weakness, and then we
No,
we
I
Just
don't spread
straight
go
for
and
calls
anybody.
with
scan through
like
the
30 plus
actual
days to expiration?
market to find those
Uh,
areas of the
45
market that we want
days
to start
or
buying, and we
more.
find the setups, right?
Oh,
So we have
right.
three
That's
different
the
setups.
that I
If you're
forgot.
part
That's
of
the
the
bullet point
newsletter,
on
it's
the
free,
thing.
by the way. The newsletter is free. I just sent out an email
Which
going
is fine.
through our first solar trade. It's
Cool.
our
Okay,
change of
thanks.
direction
Yeah,
set up here.
it wasn't
This was
just
a 200 plus percent trade.
excuse me, it wasn't
From the
just
guys in our
General
group.
Mills. It was like
I went through
it's
this during
happened
a
a lot
mentorship
to me
session with
over
one of
like the
the
last
newer
6 months.
TTI
I feel
traders
like
Sunday. If you want to
like
figure out what this is, how they're able to buy
I
this
think I'm trying to
continued
remember.
gap
I'm
up
pretty
in
sure
the
one of them
all-time
was
highs for
Target.
solar.
Or like I was
It's in
like
the
looking
newsletter,
at
links
it,
in the
playing
bio.
it,
Just enter your email. I'll
cool,
send
made some
the
money,
email to you. But this is a great setup because we
maybe
have three of
lost on
these
it. I
types
can't
of
remember.
setups that we use all
But
the
then
time.
like
This
a
is
month, but I knew there was
one of them.
something big
So
was like
in
there
about
on
2
the
minutes, we'll
chart.
scan the market and
And then
try to
like a
find
month
opportunities like
later,
this.
everybody else is in it. I
To
had missed it. I was
see
busy.
if
I had
there's
got
anything
busy or
else
something like that.
coming up here end of day or
I wasn't able to watch
potentially
it at that point, but
into tomorrow's session.
totally missed the trade.
You know, in all honesty, though, you bring a lot of FA into your trades, so you trade way differently. So, it's tough to compare yourself missing something or
True.
getting something
A trade
other
that
than
he
the
can make
group.
250,000 safely, absolutely not.
Do I take a lot of fundamental analysis though?
No, you do your own.
That's
You
what your
have
goal
your
is
own
right now. You're
bias.
not going to be able
Remember,
to do it.
you'll start to look at
So these guys are just
articles
talking in
on that
Discord.
specific
I'm not
company
going to interrupt them
and be
because they're
like,
talking
"Oh,
to each other.
bro,
So I'm
they're
just going to
about
run through
to,
the analysis
open up a
portion
new
of
sector of
what
cigarettes
we
in
normally do during
Ukraine,
the strategy
or they're
session
taking
right
away
now
your
for those of you
Ukrainian
guys that are new. You
cigarettes."
can
And
kind of
so
see
I
what we're
think this
looking at.
stock
You're
is
looking
going
at
to be
sector
great,
performance on the
or
year-to-date chart.
you'll be in a position and you'll see a piece of
Essentially what the
news
first
and
step
you'll
of the
be like,
TTI
"Oh,
Yeah,
system
but
is to
brother,
try to
that was
identify
just
relative strength in the
coincidental, and
market.
I
We
was
want to be
just
buying the
digging
strongest
No,
parts
stuff
of the
that
I
I
market.
know,
didn't.
I know,
And you
but
can't
you're
And
talking
skip
and
about
steps.
half
little
of that is
little
just
FA
fun. I don't
trades.
even think
There it is.
that was
You can see
I don't
that
even like take those
since
trades
the July
usually.
lows, energy is
I
But
know,
I
but
should have. Damn,
every
nice
other
for taking
sector.
that
As
trade
you
because
can
I
see,
think I
every
was
other
right
sector is
on that
starting to
cigarette one. I
percolate
was
down,
right.
right? So growth has been kind of our main focus for the last 6 weeks. We're
Good.
able to
no, I'm
catch some of the
saying
losses
every
in other
once in
plays
a while
like
you bring a
ON for
little
solar,
FA into your
etc.
trades.
But
You look at articles and
we're
you
But
might
starting
I
to
think
see
jump
you
a
out
have
couple
to do
early.
that,
pops
right? You
in
can't
some of
just.
these
I
trends
mean,
off
there's a
of
point,
the
like everything
May
in
and
moderation,
June
right? And
lows, right? We
I
saw
feel like
6 weeks ago
every
Yeah.
overperformance.
ticker is
Well, now
different
we're
too.
starting to
Like
get some
some
energy
tickers, you want
overperformance,
to
and the
just
rest of the market is
completely
starting to click
ignore
over, right?
almost all the noise, like
And so what we've been
Tesla or
focused on for
something,
the last
because
7
there's
to
so
10
much
days is when
artificial
should we
noise out
start
there.
looking at going long energy again, and that's why we
I
pulled
don't
the
know.
trigger at the end of
Like
I
last
don't
one
week.
pay.
ticker
So
comes up in the news randomly, like
we've
fucking General
been
Mills has some
looking
like
at here's the quarter
weird
to date chart,
random
for example. You can
article
see
about
that
it,
if I was
right?
to highlight over just the XLE sector, right?
That's
This is your energy
probably
sector. You see
more
very basic technical
impactful than
analysis, higher highs, right? You're looking for a
something
series of
else
higher
for
highs and a
fundamental
series of higher
US.
lows. We're getting it. This is
Yeah,
giving us conviction to want
you
to
take a
actually
lot
go
more
long
shorter
energy,
term
which is why we
trades
started
too.
accumulating
I
positions
feel
at the
like
end of last week.
you're
If we
in a
flip over to
position
the industry
for
area, right? So
1
you know
to
sectors. There's
4
11 sectors
days
in the
rather
market,
than
but each sector has
you know
different
3
varying amounts
to
of industries within it.
14 days.
For example,
So
energy. Two
yeah,
off the
I
top
mean,
of my head are oil and
I
gas,
don't pay attention to
exploration
any
and
of the
production.
articles anymore.
Another one is oil
I look at the charts
services.
and that's it.
Another one is MLP.
That's
So there's
But doesn't mean
three.
I'm successful
Those
either.
three
I don't know if
industries can
that's
be
true. I'm
moving
gonna
Yep.
put my
at
trades in
different
the
rates
trader view. That's a good
of
question.
change
I wonder how
than
long
each
I've
other.
been
So,
holding
for
my trades
example,
because
if
I feel
energy's
like you've
up
been holding them a
20%
lot
in one
longer.
quarter, oil, gas, and exploration can be up
I feel
40,
like I have.
whereas oil services can only be up 5. And we would want to be focused on that XOP area, the oil and
Cool, man.
gas
Appreciate
exploration.
that. Thank
We're really
you.
trying to niche down to find the strongest parts of the actual market. Okay, so as of right now, quarter to date, if you look over here once again, clean energy (PBW), which was up the most, 41.81%
I think
this quarter, which is
Hammy
now
brought
very
up
much
one
in a
a
downtrend.
while ago,
We don't want to be buying PBW
like at the
either.
beginning of
We
the
had a
year
fun with
or beginning of
PBW
this was like
through
last year
July
even.
and
I
into
can't remember when we talked
August.
about
It
this,
has
but
peaked
you
and since
said something
broken to the
about how
downside. We are not
you were
buying
looking at previous messages from like months and months before.
Fun run, but now we got to look at what is still
And
consistently
like
hitting higher highs. And
one of the ideas I had was like a Tesla play,
I was just talking about oil
and I was
and
like
gas
spot on
exploration
with
and
it.
production.
And if I would have
Off of the
held it,
July lows, this is now
it would have
up
like
22.63% quarter to date. That means
but
this
I wasn't
entire
able to sit
sub-industry,
through the volatility
right?
of
The
it.
entire industry itself.
So like my
every
idea
company
was like
inside of it
long
should
term,
be
and
up
I guess
on
I should have
average
just. I mean, the moral of the story is I should have
But
just waited.
TTI does
So
not want
I think
to
what it all comes down to
specifically
is
go out and
like
buy XOP. We want
if I
to
have
go
an
and
idea,
find the names within XOP,
instead of just
because we
jumping
know
in
that
and getting my
XOP
feet
is the
wet,
strongest industry
I
this
just need to go
quarter.
chill on
There's
the beach
probably
for a
going
bit
to be the strongest company,
and
right?
see what
Because
happens.
these are
You know.
averages. So if we actually go back and
Anyway,
we'll
that's my
use the
speech.
1 a month here as our filter set, we can actually click through returns and find the strongest companies within that specific industry. In this case, WTI is up 76.42%, DEN is up 56.52%, BRY is up 44%. So we know, for example, energy is up 20%, XOP is up 23%, but some of these companies inside of XOP are up 50 50, 60, 70%. So what we do is we could just go ahead and go through some of these names and find, are there potential opportunities on any of these specific names? And in this case, as I'm rolling through, what we're looking for is some sort of horizontal level break. We don't necessarily want to go and just buy anything that shows up. We want to be able to risk on and risk off. And in this case, WTI does not give us that opportunity. So we're just going to keep rolling through. I'm going to go and put my headphones back on really quick and see if they're done talking. Did you guys figure it out? It sounded like a good conversation. I took my headphones off because there's nothing I could contribute. Good? All right. DEN all-time highs today. Denbury. Integrated oil name, 4.522 billion market cap. You know what I'm going to do? Hang on. One sec. I'm gonna switch the platform. We're gonna try the IG live stuff right now. See if that is any better than Tiki-Taki, because man, Tiki-Taki is just not fun anymore. Not my cup of tea. Okay, DEN all-time high. Integrated oil name, 4.6 billion market cap. This is a mid cap all-time high breakout off of a nice range that's been set since November of 2021 rather, sorry. DEN. So that's a nice, decent looking break above on a range high. We can go to DEN and kind of look at some of the contracts. This is definitely going to be a shares trade, it looks like. There's not enough open interest. Not enough open interest to want to get long here. But we can go ahead and set up the trade idea just the same. Probably this 9150 area for the breakout. Resend.
What sector is DEN?
Oil? Integrated oil, yeah.
Okay, I was guessing just because it sounds like the name sounds like an oil name. But thank you.
So the problem right now, what we're going to find over and over is trying to find clean breakouts, because there's just not going to be a lot of them. A lot of them are going to have that drawdown over the last like 2 months, 3 months. Charts are going to look like shit. That's why I really loved EQNR. What was this? No. That's why I really loved EQT and EQNR. Speaking of EQT, it's now down. It was up like 5%. Now it's down. Did some come out on EQT, or is this just a victim of trying to push into all-time highs or whatever? No, all-time highs.
Is it worth looking at any tech names or anything right now, I think? Like, even if they're still doing all right or holding up?
I don't know. What do you think?
Probably way more.
I think right now, right now relative strength is coming in on energy, right? We know that.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be opening up new positions right now, you're going to be going into it with two things on your mind. Energy was what's showing relative strength right now, mainly XOP, and some of the growth areas are starting to slow down. I mean, that's it. You're going to be buying pullbacks in growth areas, or you're going to be buying breakouts in energy. And in my mind, I would prefer to be buying breakouts than pullbacks. That's just me.
I'm going to wait on energy. I want it to break the previous high at 87.55, which if you look back, like on the monthly chart, is also, it's just look. Okay, you guys are gonna call me crazy because I charted this on a monthly, but kiss my ass, I don't care. I'll probably come true because I did it. You're Dr. Contrarian. It's a monthly, so keep that in mind. Look at the time frame.
Yeah, okay, well I'll tell you right off the bat, one thing that you do that the rest of us don't do is that you do these patterns. Remember we talked about this last week. How like human beings are inherently built to try to find patterns. And so if you post that, you're going to trade that. And that's your like we don't front run anything in here. Like we don't try to predict any. What you're doing right now is predicting.
I'm not
right?
front running it at all. That's what I'm saying. I'm just waiting. I wanted to break that. I just wanted to prove in my mind. I wanted to prove that that's not what this is before I would go long on it by breaking the neckline.
But think about the bias that you're already introducing yourself right now.
It doesn't.
But that's not a Head and Shoulders.
No, it's not. I know. I'm just saying. It's more about that neckline, about being a horizontal level. To me, Head and Shoulders is just a range. You know what I mean? It's like a horizontal range. I don't know.
I mean, I think Dustin said it the best. I think he only buys straight line breakouts, and so far it's done really well for him.
I'm not saying like not. I'm just saying that's where I would do it. I don't know. I would wait for this breakout to like fully break out.
There's a let me post something that Lance Brightstein posted maybe yesterday or 2 days ago that is a direct, it's exactly like what we were talking about. He either deleted it or I saw it somewhere else, but I'm pretty sure it's from him. Anyway, he essentially says that traders, maybe it was just the YouTube thing that he posted over, but essentially what Lance Brightstein said was there's two different types of traders. Both of them can be profitable. One waits for the breakout and confirmation, and the other one buys either the breakout or the pullback with a very small risk tolerance, essentially, where your stop is like right below where you enter. And he said that a lot of traders are under the illusion that by waiting for confirmation, they're going to be safer in the trade. And although the trade itself might be safer from a winning percentage perspective, the risk to reward is not better. As a matter of fact, a lot of the times waiting for confirmation is statistically the worst thing you can do, because all of that reward you're not capturing by waiting is gone. So you are increasing your winning percentage by waiting for a confirmation, but you're decreasing your risk to reward because half of the reward you're just waiting, and you'll never grab that. And so he does a good, like the way that he talks through that idea, to me, it's what we do in here with our BRB setup, right? We buy the pullback and we put a stop somewhere right underneath that. So it's like if we buy the BRB, for example, and we buy the pullback and the stop is the next day low of day, our risk to reward is fucking huge. We don't have to hit those very many to be in positive territory. As a matter of fact, as long as we keep our risk to reward above 2.25, we can lose 70% of our trades. As long as our risk to reward on average is above 2.25, which should be very easy in this group considering we target 4 to 1 or higher, you only have to win 30% of your fucking trades to remain profitable. So by waiting for that confirmation, that risk to reward is no longer going to be 4 to 1. You're going to be grabbing something that's like a 2.5 to 1 or maybe a 2 to 1. And in that instance, your ability to fuck up, like the numbers don't give you enough wiggle room to be able to screw up very often. Because if you do screw up and you require bigger winning percentage to remain profitable. Well, if you lose 3 or 4 trades in a row, now all of a sudden your account's like in danger, or you're feeling shitty because you're like, well, statistically I'm at 75% win rate right now. Over the last 20 trades, I'm winning 30%. Not only am I losing money, but I'm also just trading like shit. What's going on? So by skewing that risk to reward, and I don't want to say don't wait for confirmation, but what we do in here, we have our built-in confirmations. We have a confirmation within a BRB setup. It either bounces, which is a confirmation, or we're out. That's it. That's why the risk to reward is so heavily skewed in our favor on those. By you waiting, for example, for this non-existent head and shoulders to break out, you're just going to doesn't make any sense. Not only that, but you're buying contracts that are going to be in October, right? Like you're looking at Octobers.
I'm not buying anything. That's the point.
So let's say you are buying something though. Are you targeting Octobers? I know it's not September's, but you're probably going to be targeting Octobers. That's what most of us are targeting.
Whatever. I would target. I always do. I mean, my rule of thumb has always been 30 days plus, but that's like.
Okay, so 30 days plus. Your level goes back to 2005.
Wait, what'd you say?
That neckline that you said you want to wait on that left shoulder is going back to like 2005.
Well, I posted my daily chart. I was just showing the long-term chart and how it has hit that horizontal level previously, and we're right there. And it would be, I don't know. I think on the left side of the chart sometimes has some credence, right? Like if it's hit there before.
Yeah, I think it definitely has some credence. But the last time it was up at that level, it didn't bounce. It broke through. We broke through it in 2012.
Right.
I'm just trying to get you to look at it because I know, right, you DM'd me a good question and you brought up the fact that you think that you're being influenced by some biases, and I think that
I have a couple of things going on, I think, yeah.
By drawing that head and shoulders on something going back 20 years, you are introducing a bias, because right now you are afraid of the most immediate information. Most immediate information right now is that energy is up 25% since the bottom in July.
Yeah,
and
but look at
the
daily chart I posted. I literally look at the daily chart I posted. I'm not saying don't buy energy. I'm just saying keep in mind.
The chart that I'm looking at right now that you posted, that white line should have been the breakout spot. That should have been your confirmation if that's what you're waiting for.
Yeah, I honestly charted this a while ago. Right as it started breaking out as out of the triangle, and it literally filled it perfectly. I didn't even realize.
Posting some factor analysis stuff really quick so you guys can look at it, because this is important in regards to the energy stuff, specifically when it comes to large, mid, and small cap energy. You can see the rotation starting to happen on the quarter to date chart. It's not screaming yet, but you can see that we're starting to float a little bit. It starts with small cap value. We're starting to float and stay above the zero, right? So we're not negative anymore. A nice little resurgence from small cap growth today, but we're not technically still in that uptrend, or we are still technically in an uptrend. We're just horizontally channeling, right? So don't want to scream and sit here and say today was some huge victory, because it absolutely was not. Large cap growth is now starting to dwindle into a relative downtrend. And so this gives more credence to the XOP OIH area of the market. And these trends are manifesting themselves, going back 5 weeks now, and I think this is the time to start attacking these XOP and XLE both. If you don't have energy exposure, that's fine. Don't get me wrong, but I think that you're going to be regretting it. Or at the very minimum, regretting waiting, because it's only going to get more expensive. They're only going to get more expensive to get long some of these names. We talked about this yesterday, and then again earlier today. EQ and R, those 44.68 contracts that people were buying at 65 cents are now worth $1.27. So these are now up basically 100%. You're essentially going to be buying positions that other guys in the group are already in because you're going to want this name. Or, we can use a bunch of different examples. It doesn't have to be that. But you guys said CVX and XOM. I think XOM looks better than CVX. From a level standpoint and from previous price action, I really hate the consolidation from March through June in CVX. That was 100 days straight of horizontal channeling. I do not like that. Whereas XOM over that same time frame showed relative strength. That same 100-day area of the market, we popped up 17%. We also just hit a 50-day high today within XOM, and CVX has not. So CVX is at a 25-day high. XOM is at the highest price point it's been since June 14th. I like XOM better than CVX here. So let's look for an XOM related play. Very minimum we're going to go out to is October's. My Tasty Works is taking its time loading. Okay, here we go. October 105, 110 call debit spread. Listen, you can either call debit spread or not this. It's only a 38 IV, so you can definitely buy calls if you want. One thing I will say though is that there's 43.1 IV rank. So even in a 38% IV environment, this is still relatively high. If you wanted to just buy calls on the October, the 110s are within that wheelhouse of the correct delta at 0.22. 3.56K open interest, going to run you about $1.52. The November's right now setting up for a little bit better than a 4-1. If you want to buy the November 110, 115 call debit spread, you can buy them for $94. Max profit of 406 with a P50 of 63. I do like the XOM trade better than CVX though. As a matter of fact, we can kind of run that. Relative strength. Not a whole lot to go off of. How much are the CVX contracts? Let's see. First off, for CVX, price target here, probably we want to be somewhere around all-time highs at 180. Grab the 180 at 0.2. Yeah, so CVX is going to be more expensive, and I don't like the chart as much. Type that up. Grab the Novembers as well. What was it? The 110. Not the worst, man. Not the worst. I think Exxon is probably going to be better though. I like the October 110s more than the November call debit spreads. Personally, you got 59 days to fuck with this. One-tens are somewhere around what? How much off the all-time high? Is it an all-time high? 5? I don't remember if this is all-time high or just a decade high. It would be an all-time high. All right, so 110 would be an all-time high for XOM. How many of you guys are still in ON? A roll call there on the ON play. Sorry, had to respond to somebody. Definitely gonna wait off that. The volume is high. Let's see, Hano's still in ON. Like the breakout setup better here. Peabody. We traded this, didn't we? Yeah, we did. We traded this at the beginning of the year. I remember the run up. It was wild. All right, so Dustin and Hano are still in ON. That's cool. Okay. Plugging my phone in. All right, guys, any questions or anything? I think we should probably scan for energy-related stuff. Q's closing under a high volume node, probably probably not the best sign, that's for sure. Q's here. This is the level that we originally used to really ramp up risk, and now we're testing this from the upside moving down. Earlier in the session, we thought this was going to be a great place for the Q's if it was going to hold the hold, and it looks like unless over the next 20 minutes something insane happens, it looks like we are going to close above this level. We bounced off of it a few times intraday here.
The Q just flipped red. Oh, it's literally flat. No change. Isn't there a name for that? A doji or something? What's that called? A flat. Candlestick cheat sheet. You should pin this up. Although it adds bias, so I don't know. Confirmation bias, I mean.
39 names on the 50-day highs list. Half of the list is energy. CF, agricultural chemical name. We have a history with this. this and give you guys a look at the full view here. Celsius breakout for whatever reason into all-time highs today. Look at that. Broke a little pennant here. Little flag. I'm gonna post the chart. Consumer discretionary related name. Another integrated oil name, this time a Canadian name. OXY, 50-day high today. Cleared that candle from the 31st of May. So this is, people were asking if they wanted to go long OXY. This is the area for a risk. So whether or not you want to go long is completely up to you. But this would be the area probably where you'd want to start looking at risking on and risking off.
The Oxy options chain is insane. What the fuck?
The old Buffett effect, huh? We're going to go through all these tonight, so don't worry. I'm assuming nobody wants to open anything up end of day.
I might take Oxy, but a spread. Still looking though. I was looking at Chevron this morning.
Those of you watching the stream,
I have
if
a
you're not
price
in
target
TTI,
on Chevron of like
you're looking
$115.
to become a better trader over the next
That makes
90
sense.
days. We will give you your money back if you do not become a better trader. Feel free. Link is in the bio. Come down, read through everything that's on this page. It matters. Go through some of the stuff, the testimonials, what you get,
That's for
what our
my
strategy
first
sessions
price
actually
target,
sound like, etc. If this is
my
something
next
that
price
you
target
think will help
is
you become a better trader,
125.
I highly suggest checking it out. Come give us 90 days. Doesn't work, we'll give you your money
I'm gonna
back.
take it because
I
I like it.
guarantee you it will work.
And it's cheaper than
Have not had a
Oxy
single
and
trader
it doesn't
come in
have the Buffett
for
effect.
a
It just
90-day
has
period that did not end up staying.
the Chevron effect.
And that did not end up becoming a better trader. Literally a 100% retention rate over 90 days.
What's the
I'm going to go ahead and turn the
IV
stream off.
XOM?